Hey, Barb. Guess what? It's 10 minutes with Barb and Ron. I can't believe it. Boy, time goes quick. And I see you're laughing a little bit, but yeah, you probably noticed the beard's gone, right?
It's gone.
We don't have a guest with us today, so we can, not have to be right on topic. But anyway.
Well, what made you shave your beard, Ron?
It itched too much, and it made me look, according to other people, it made me look really old. According to my daughter, I look like a homeless person.
Well,
so
I the nice thing is you can change your look by just adding hair or taking it away. So yeah, Barb and Tilly Green here. Glad to be here today. And what are we going to talk about, Ron?
Oh, we've got something great to talk about. But first of all, your comment about we can either add hair or take it away. And I noticed that you smiled on the take it away because I've obviously been losing hair a long time. Okay, I'd turn around, but the rest of it on the back's gone. So, matter of fact, Barb, real quick before we get into our topic, I never knew I was going bald. Okay, I didn't know it, and I was sitting with a second grader. We were at a computer station working together. I was the child's teacher, and I still remember his name, by the way. And he come up behind me to ask me if we were going to play football on recess. And he's like, "Boy, Mr. Rogers," he said, "you don't have any hair back here." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he says, "You don't have any hair back there." So I went and looked in a mirror when I had a chance, and I didn't realize I didn't have hair back there. And now it's just a really big circle back there. I just thought I was losing some here, So, kids are kids and we love them, right?
Right. We count on them to keep us honest. I mean, I'm terrible. I never look at the back of my hair either. I have no idea what it looks like back there. So maybe I have a big circle of no hair back there also.
I can assure you, you're fine. Although it has been 2 years since I've seen the back of your head, probably because we've been on Zoom. But okay, our topic. Let's get into our topic. You know what, Barb? One of the things that businesses have always done for years in their organizational scheme is what's called a SWOT. And SWOTs have become a little more common now in education. However, I'm going to say this, and hopefully, if you want to retaliate, you can do it down in the comments, in the YouTube. But educators have always taken Zoom and they've taken the SWOT and they've softened it a lot. Business still takes the SWOT, and it's a pretty tough tool, and it's a very eye-opening tool most of the time. So, do you want me to tell you what SWOT stands for?
I was just going to say, I need some background knowledge because I need to know what, I have this vision of SWOT with us in our gear and coming in and being prepared for whatever might be there. But I don't think that's what you're talking about.
Now, I'm talking about a SWOT analysis. So SWOT stands for strengths. That's the S. And then the W is for weaknesses.
Okay.
And then it's an O. Okay. It's an O. And that's opportunities. And then the T is for threats.
Oh.
And the best way to do a SWOT, whether it's in business or education, is to take that and just have those words out there and email it to the people that you want to have it. Tell them not to think real hard about it, but just to list. For example, we do this every year, as you know, with the Ohio UDL collaborative members. And in some of the boards that I'm on, business boards, we do the SWOT analysis. And you just list what you think and we'll just use the collaborative for this. What are the strengths of the Ohio UDL collaborative? And the members of it write their strengths. And then what's the weaknesses of the collaborative? What are those weaknesses that you think, and then what opportunities might we have? And list those. And what are some threats? And every year we do that. And every year after processing what everyone says, it's pretty interesting because we then focus in on a few of those and we make our collaborative much better. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how you can go back. We could go back many years, and I do this every time it's time for a new SWOT to see, did we really focus on what we said we would? Did we really? And we've those things that were really big things that we thought we were never going to get past, we did, and And it doesn't mean that they might not come back around again at some point, and we may have to do it again because we've lost focus on it, but it's kind of neat. What you've been like, I've sent you the SWOT before. What do you think of the process, or what do you think about filling it out or whatever?
Yes. Well, I think it's interesting because we often will talk about strengths and weaknesses, period. Like in education, that's sort of what we do. We talk about student strengths. We talk about a teacher's strengths. We talk about, but this addition of the opportunity and the threats, like at first when you sent that out, like that's like, what exactly should that go in there? Like an opportunity, what are some things that, because of all of our strengths, that we might be able to do as a group together? And then this threats, that piece, that is super interesting because that takes some culture of comfort to even be able to identify what the threats are, knowing that it's going to be emailed back to you and that just that comfortable feeling that we have as a group to be honest about the threats that each one of us might perceive in that situation, right? So I think it could be taken and used in many different ways. And
this time when I mailed them out, one person came back and said, do you think, Ron, you'd get better or more, would you get more honest answers? I don't know. I don't think I said that right, but would the honesty be better if it was sent back to you in an anonymous way? And my comment back was we tried that once, but there was no way for me to figure out who sent them to me and who didn't, because we only would get like 2 or 3 responses. And then I've got 3 people that did. I don't know who they were, so I don't know who to follow up with to get the rest. That was kind of hard. If we came up with a tool that would allow it to be checked off who sent them, but leave them anonymous, that would be great. Although, honest to goodness, I don't read them when I get them. What I do is I just copy and paste and throw them into a like a numbers thing, and I don't know whose is whose. And if people were any more honest, I don't think people could be any more honest. They're very honest. They're not linked to any individual person when they're actually looked at. And what I do with them is they go into this numbers program and then everything's given away. And then I sit down also with the CEO of a board that I'm on, and he looks at them, and because he's done this stuff for 30 years and he's really good at it. And he can look at it and then pull just that small piece that I bring back to the collaborative. So it's been, it's really been through some tiers of looking at it and stuff. And so it's kind of neat. And boy, it just makes you closer to everybody when you examine it close. And I just can't wait till tomorrow when we can look at it all together, where we're at and stuff. And honest to goodness, some of those weaknesses are really opportunities.
Right.
Right. They really are. The threats are a little harder because the threats are normally around people that are above us. Will we be given time to do this, or will we be given resources? Those are a little harder, but we keep getting closer to conquering, different things. So right. I don't know, it'd be neat.
Well, I always think about things from a student perspective. And I think about how we are trying to hear more from our students and have our students give us feedback as educators. So, I'm sitting in a school building, so that's where my brain always goes. But I can see how, and I know this is not intended for this, but I can also see how we could kind of adapt these questions a little bit to elicit some feedback from our learners about us as instructors and what the environment might be, that maybe we look at it from the environment standpoint. What are some strengths? What are some weaknesses? Are there some threats within this environment that we should think about getting rid of so that you can learn more easily? So, I've participated it with you in that regard and never thought about using it for a student, but do you think it could be adapted to be used with learners? So
here, as you're saying that, Barb, my mind's going, okay? It's just reeling really fast. So I'm thinking, would we try that in a classroom first, or would we do that like in your building? Let's say we did it in the building you're in. Okay, it's a SWOT. It's mailed to every student, and they can put whatever they want as a strength, as as whatever. We get those back and we enter them. This time we're going to enter them we wouldn't have to enter them, but it's nice. I've got a statistical program that we could put them in, and it would actually calculate how many times, let's say, for example, under threats, bullying is mentioned 92% of the time. That is obviously a threat. Okay. So we move that one over to the T's, and that for the building is a threat. Okay. But then when we look at a strength and all of a sudden 89% comes up that they just love their teacher, that the teacher, it's a teacher thing. So then all of a sudden, there's a strength. It's in our staff, and you could just go down through there, but it's nice if you could pull just the highest ones and look at those and then try to infuse things to see where can we do better, because more than likely the strength can help take care of that threat.
Yeah.
If the threat is bullying and we've got great staff, well, you know what? Now, since we know that our focus needs to be on how are we going to fix this bullying thing, the staff are definitely going to be able to handle it because the kids already admire them. Does that make sense?
That's great. So you're taking it to a systems level that would really help the administrative team of a building look at how that building is functioning from the student perspective. So I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Maybe that's something you can try,
Hey.
Maybe your superintendent be like, hey, that would be kind of interesting. I mean, especially high school. High school students could easily do a SWOT.
Yes.
But it would be kind of interesting to see what the elementary kids would do too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd have to word it in a way that was accessible to them and that they could understand, but sure.
Well, it's been 10 minutes, Barb. It's been great. Ron's out.
Well, thanks for bringing that tool to our conversation and giving me some things to think about. And with that, Barb is out. See you next time on 10 Minutes with Barb and Ron.
YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment, and share.